and welcome to the ScreenShot. This is season 2, episode 2. This is a show where we basically sit down as young people and have discussions, raw and unfiltered discussions about issues that face us as young people. So one of the issues that I thought we should talk about today is a very important one, and I think one of the biggest. The issue is on the high rates of unemployment in our country. So as it stands, we have more than 2.2 million Zimbabwean youths that are unemployed at the moment. So that is clearly a big issue. So joining me today to discuss this very important issue is, actually I have two guests with me today, which is great. I have upcoming entrepreneur, engineer, football player.
Yeah.
What am I leaving? Thokozani Ncube, and MNS Media Labs founder and CEO Mgcini.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm actually excited to be having this discussion with you guys because as someone who's been unemployed at some point, I feel like it's something important as young people for us to have these discussions, especially for abantu abalalele or phandle out there who might be in the same situation. So have you guys been in that situation of being unemployed?
Yeah, personally I have, and it's quite hard being unemployed. I think it was around 20 after school. I was unemployed, and I tried everything because I couldn't go to the university, and because of money. But my grades were okay, but they couldn't afford to pay for me, the parents. So I was basically unemployed for somewhere around 2 years, and I applied for everything. I remember one time I even applied for nursing, and I wasn't even passionate with nursing, but just to get something rolling in life, I was applying for everything. It was quite hard. It was quite hard.
Yeah, same here. It's the same path that I also walked. I also remember when I did my A-level. Afterwards, I was stuck. I also applied for even the army, the police.
You did?
Yeah, I did. And actually, I also did some interviews. I remember at UPH for nursing, I passed, but I don't know what happened. I didn't get the post, but I went through the similar situation, and I remember it was so excruciating, so hard. It was very difficult, but nonetheless, I believe that as a young person, you maneuver and you find a way, and I mean, here we are today. So yeah, it's common in life to be in such a situation.
I think most of us, we find ourselves in situations where after university, college, and you started something different to what you are now doing because awula choice. I know some people in real estate.
Yeah.
They are not doing that anymore.
They are not. Like, town planning.
Town planning.
Yeah.
Abantu, things that are so. What can I say? Even in accounting, science, setting into an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So, Katesa, I want us to discuss a little bit on challenges that many young people face when they are unemployed and they have nothing else that is going on for them in terms of the workspace. So, if I'm going to start.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So, the first challenge that I want to see in Davale. Do you guys remember Siseskolo? Migration?
Yeah.
Brain drain. I used to always say migration, brain drain.
Yeah.
So imagine when a certain population of abantu leave a country, and it's usually abantu abayangan, and they go to seek greener pastures in other countries, and leaves brain drain for the country.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And in the same note, in the same breath, the situation of legal and illegal migration to other countries.
Yeah.
That's also one of the big things that is a challenge because of unemployment. So
exactly.
What else can we say?
Yeah, and mental health.
Yes,
depression. It's hitting hard. As a male child, I think this thing is really hitting men the most I don't know with
women,
you
yeah.
guys, but somehow we are, as men, we are programmed to provide.
Yes.
And when men fail to provide, it really kills them. I remember, like I told you, just after school, I was unemployed, but later, around 2015, I got employed. And I was working at NRZ, mechanical engineering, work on fitting and stuff like that. Then we got retrenched. And it was not just me, but I think over 500 people were retrenched. And all of them, most of them were men who were retrenched there. And I remember the statistics, they were saying that there is a number, more than 15 people committed suicide after that.
Ish, that's so bad.
And it was men only.
Yeah.
Simply because most of the times when men fail to provide for their families, it really kills them. When a man feels useless, it kills them. This is why when you're useless, it really kills them, because men are beings who want to function, and it really takes a toll on their mental health. So, yeah, especially when you're growing up, you're in your early 20s, maybe going to, you're trying to get your footing in life, and you fail, and you're unemployed, you don't even know where to start and stuff like that. It really kills us, and you come to a place where you don't know where you're going, and most people feel like their hope is now on maybe taking their own life, or even resorting to doing crime in order to get something on the table. So mental health is a big issue that is affecting a number of people these days. And unemployment, I think unemployment, that
it's
is
a factor.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
By the way,
yeah.
sorry to take long.
No, it's okay.
Actually, I read somewhere, some few months back, they were saying that during World War I, just before World War I, they noticed that there was a number of people where men actually were getting depressed. A lot of men were getting depressed just before World War I. But when World War I started, then there was no depression.
Yeah.
Because, exactly. Men we started being busy, they were involved in driving ambulances, some of them were at war and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And most of them, the depression just vanished, simply because they were now functional. So there's something with being busy and being a man that gives you serene and peace and quiet and stuff like that. But the moment you feel you are useless, then it really takes a toll on you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I think also one of the key factors that we can also look at is pressure that hikes when you grow up.
Yeah.
Because when you're still young, you've got pressure to excel when you're doing your books. But when it comes to growing up, there is pressure to be a man. And being a man is having something, or having sustenance, or having a source of making money. That is what is killing many people out there. So uzathola most of the time, if you are pressured to provide, you get pressured to get into the wrong avenues to find your source of sustenance. For instance, we look at the things like crime. I'm sure you've been reading social media pages and news and the like, whereby soldiers they are robbing places like Omkuru and the like. The person is working, but the fact that their salary cannot sustain their family or his family, he makes way for another source of avenue to find his sustenance. So that's the problem that we have in our society. Pressure is hiking. And also, I think, in as much as we can blame other things and so forth, the situation of our country is very hard. It's very hard on a daily basis to survive in a modern day Zimbabwe. Things are so tough, prices are hiking every day, and people are finding it so hard to balance the life between when you earn your salary up to the next salary again, because there are many things that you have to pay for. Bills are hiking and so forth. I was even checking some of the rooms that are being rented out there. I remember a basic room in Ngani, $40. It's now $50 to $60. Just imagine if you're earning $200, you've got a family of 4, you have to pay rent, you have to pay school fees. It doesn't balance. It doesn't check up. So I think pressure is mounting on everyone. The pressure is mounting due to the situation of the country again.
I think also another challenge unemployment is, you know, when you go to school and you go to university, people's expectations of you after that.
Exactly.
Like you studied accounting, you studied this and that, and then so figure with that degree, because we know ukuthi banengi abantu abahlezi phansi and bahleli lama degree. Okunye, it's not ukuthi umuntu uhlezi uneducated. Some people really did put in the work. They went to school, bafaka in bapasa, but opportunities in this country are very limited. It's not everyone. So that pressure yokuthi eline nonke umuntu akwazi ukuthi uThokozani ugraduate la, but uThokozani sebonakala ekuseni every day. I think Mgcini, it also might lead to what you were talking about, mental issues. Ukuthi khona khona ukuthi angisayenzi lutho. Expectations of parents, you know, fees. They might not voice it, but maybe there is something at the back of your head. Fees from when I was 6 up until being graduated
of course. Exactly. At home,
there are talks at home, especially you know, sometimes it really does lead to izinto ezisusa ubuhlungu like that. So do you guys think politics plays a role in unemployment yethu? As young people, are we supposed to stand up, do something about it? I don't want us to be too political, but what do we think?
Well, maybe on politics he knows better because I haven't been really interested on politics that much. But what I can say is that I don't know if this would be appropriate, but I'm thinking that we mustn't put our hopes on politics, honestly, because Tina says singaga, and we've been hoping, but things are not changing.
Yeah, they are not.
You know. If anything, they are getting worse.
Yeah.
You know.
By the day.
So, my own, I've always thought to myself that I will never try to really pin my hopes on politics, but I will just run my own race and make sure that I put my hope in me and God. If it's not me, I'm not really pinning my hope on another man. Who doesn't even know me, who doesn't know what I'm going through.
That's true.
So, yes, I know maybe they are really trying their best in order to maybe give employment to the youth and stuff like that. But putting my hope on them, that's something that I'm not prepared to do.
So,
wait,
let me ask you.
I think I also take the same stance. I've never really leaned on politics to really change my life because I feel like politics is somehow so far-fetched that you can never understand it. For what he was saying, Mgcini, things have never changed from 1980. I mean, when the old guns came into power, and who am I to change things by electing a certain leader? Of course, it's important to cast my vote, to vote for a certain leader, to come and turn things around. But I've never really leaned on politics. And again, the greatest lesson that I've always learned from my father is, my father is a businessman. So he used to say, look, ndoda, kumele uzenzele into yakho. And having your own system, having your own avenue to make money, I think is the best way to you can grow and get something out of your life. So politics, I'm also not involved.
So the thing is, even if things, let's just say we elect a good leader, and he leads us to Canaan, but the fact is, it won't be okay for everyone.
Exactly.
And that is true.
Yes.
There are some
so that has to tell you that you have to try to work hard, because even if things become better, and the value of our money is better and stuff like that, things won't be better for everyone.
Exactly.
So there'll always be protests. There are protests in America, and they're protesting that they're not getting enough pays and stuff like that.
What is the economy is sprouting on a daily basis? Yeah.
You know, so I always personally, this is something that I'd want to maybe force it to other people, but me personally, I felt that I do not have to really depend on them, but to work hard for myself and for my family. I'm sure they're also working for their families.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of working for yourself and your families, we want to move on to empowerment for the youth through entrepreneurship. And you guys are the best ambassadors for this topic because, I think I forgot to mention in the introduction, Thokozani is founder of Torex Industrial Supplies.
Yes.
Then Mgcini, still MNS Media Lab.
Yeah.
So we want to discuss entrepreneurship as a way of combating unemployment in the youth. So since you guys are entrepreneurs, I think you know best. So Saqasa ngoThokozani, what has your journey been like as an entrepreneur? Like, how did you even start? Because I was also asking you know, Gudala, what do you want to be when I grow up? I never heard you an entrepreneur.
No, we never.
I want to be an entrepreneur, but most of us now are taking this
very seriously,
being our own bosses.
Exactly.
So how did it come about for you?
I remember it. I think it emanated from the challenges that I saw that are being faced in this sector of companies not providing adequate uniforming for their staff or for their workers. And my first customer, I remember, I was still in South Africa, by the way, where I was working. My first client, she ordered some safety boots and I delivered them. And that's how the journey started. So I developed a certain passion ngomsebenzi lo after I was a safety officer at the time. So I used to visit so many companies and I would see AMA workers not having adequate uniforming. Umuntu osebenza eTemili doesn't have a dust mask and the like. So that really affected me so much that I said to myself, look, one day I want to start a company that is going to provide everything to ensure ukuthi umuntu uyasebenza and abe le longevity in their life. Angasebenzi ukuthi, for instance, we used to hear stories ukuthi umuntu usebenza esimeni side uyaphila 20 years sefile. That's bad because they don't adhere to safety precautions and safety regulations to cater for our workers. So that's where my passion started. Ukuthi I wanted to provide safety equipment for workers, and here I am.
Here you are.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you say what you wanted to provide, were the companies willing to provide the safety for their workers? Because
they are mandated. In fact, if you check the constitution in Zimbabwe, there's a certain sector, I can't quite remember it. It states each and every company should provide adequate personal protective equipment for their workers, PPE. So most of companies, especially in Zimbabwe, South African companies are very good at that.
And strict, huh?
Very strict. They ensure occupational health and safety is adhered to at every level, be it reception, office and the like.
Yeah.
So our companies in Zimbabwe, they're still catching up, though some of them, they do comply to that regulation. But then amanye, they just need that extra push, that oomph. So that's where I came in, Akalo advertiser. I remember I used to carry a paper bag in Tolama samples, getting into one company and the next. And it's fortunate enough that some companies gave me a chance. I went to Zamangani. I still am out to 4 or still am t-shirts for our staff, etc. And then, that's how it started. And then they started to comply. This is a necessity. It's necessary for a worker to wear a PPE that is adequate. So it kick-started like that.
Common sense though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true.
And you, Mgcini, how did MNS Media Lab come about?
Okay, maybe before I answer that, there's a question that you asked prior to this one. I wanted to say, not everyone can be an entrepreneur.
I've tried. This I know.
Yes, not everyone.
Yeah.
Not all of us are built that way.
To be entrepreneurs.
Yes, there's a certain, I don't know what to call it, but there's something that entrepreneurs have. Some people are built to work for the entrepreneurs, and that's okay. And some are entrepreneurs, because being an entrepreneur, it's a bit hard. It takes a toll on you. Most entrepreneurs, they start from, they work for someone, and they think to themselves, I no longer want to work for someone, so I need to start my own thing.
Yeah.
Then they start their own thing. But later they realize, even if in a different field, they later realize that, no man, I'm now working more than the time
I was before,
working
exactly.
for that person.
Yeah.
Because they failed to maybe pick their business up from infancy and grow it up in such a way that the business can now function without them. So when you are the business and we are working in the business, not out of the business, usually you're not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
An entrepreneur, you have to come to a place where you now work out of the business, and the business can be able to function even without you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've created a system where things can actually move, even if you're able to change people. For example, with KFC, KFC, I think all of their franchises, they have a system. Even if they change the people that are working there, but you still get the same product, simply because they've built a system. So as an entrepreneur, I think that's the trajectory that we have to take, in such a way that we don't work in the business, but we work out of the business.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you asked how I started.
But you gave us some good information.
Yes, I think that's actually very important.
Yeah.
Not everyone is an entrepreneur.
That's true.
The thing with Zimbabweans is that when we see something that is working,
We run there.
But these days it works to be an entrepreneur. Everyone is going that side.
Exactly.
Not all of us are built that way.
Yeah.
There are some who are, because entrepreneurs, it's hard being an entrepreneur. And you have to have something. So how I started, like I told you, I was retrenched at NRZ at 2015. But the thing is, when I started working for NRZ, like I said before, I wasn't really passionate about mechanical engineering and stuff like that, but I'd come to a place where I was applying for everything, every advert that comes, and I was lucky that I got into NRZ. And I was so frustrated, I was so depressed when I was working there, because it was something that wasn't really in me. But for the sake of being busy, I thought, and the work environment was very, very toxic. But it was a blessing in disguise being retrenched from NRZ, because I started to follow my passion. I'd always loved being a graphic designer. In fact, when I was working in NRZ, graphic design was my side hustle. And I was so passionate about it. So after NRZ, I started pushing graphic design, and I was making money from it. And I thought to myself, let me go to school. I tried finding places where I can go, and Poly was offering graphic design, and LSU was offering a certificate. I think Poly had a diploma and LSU had a certificate for graphic design. But now, when I tried researching about the diploma at Poly, I wasn't really, I hope they've changed, because it was a bit archaic. It was too old.
Yeah.
They were still drawing, fine art, something that I didn't want. So I thought to myself, let me try LSU. And I did a certificate at LSU. Then after that, I continued with my graphic design, and it was really going very well, because I had clients in all over Zimbabwe. I had clients in Cape Town. I had clients in the States. I had clients in such a way that when COVID hit, I made more money being a graphic designer. I even bought a car during COVID because I was
COVID
so
was
COVID for me
something
was a blessing in disguise because people were flocking into social media. They needed posters, they needed brand identity, they needed all that thing. So I was working and people were sending. I was almost every day I was crossing the roadblock. And I would show the police. And do you remember there were papers? So I was showing them the statement that I've received money from Well Remit, collecting money. So that is how my entrepreneurship journey started. Then later I transitioned to photography and videography, and I also do voiceovers, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm a voiceover artist. So that is where MNS Media Lab came from. So MNS Media Lab is composed of voiceovers, videography, photography, and we're looking into getting into sound, lighting, etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as entrepreneurs, as young people entrepreneurs, today, you guys will be big brothers to abantu ababukeleyo out there who want to get into the field of entrepreneurship. So, Tselani, tips on how people can enter whichever field it is, and take round up entrepreneurship. As someone who wants to start out, and what do you need to do to make it, to get it off the ground? Thokozani?
Firstly, I think first and foremost, kumele ube passion. You should be passionate in doing something. Because if you're going to pursue entrepreneurship, or if you're going to pursue a certain idea that you have, I believe you should be passionate in it.
Yes, true.
Because if you have passion, was a breaker during the course of the journey, and also venture into something else. So you should be passionate, number one. Number two, also, if you have an idea, sit down, do some research about your idea. Maybe like you want to do a vegetable project, you want to do a gold project, etc. I don't know which projects they would want to venture into. Do research. What does it encompass? Ifunani. And nxa ingafuna ama-funds, nxa ingafuna a certain structure, what does it need or what does it entail? Once you venture into it, uzayipursue kanjani. Then also the part of ama-funds, I do believe ama-funds, they play a crucial role in terms of business. Though some other projects, you can start from zero and ugcine also somewhere. But some funds are needed, especially on buying equipment, on marketing, as you said. Now you get social media and the like, you open up accounts or marketing, you need funds. So I believe the rest of the things, they will follow as long as you are passionate. That's the key factor for me. Passion
is an important factor. Any advice?
Yeah, I think you have to be ever learning. Yeah, you have to be ever learning. For example, with photography, I've always told people that I hope that I won't still be shooting when I'm 50 years old. Because there have to be other people who are still following trends. It's very easy in this industry to be pushed aside because you are no longer following trends and stuff like that. So you just have to always keep up. Always have to get. Right now it's AI. People are using artificial intelligence. You'll be surprised that there are people who are not even aware of that.
The AI exists.
Ulabo ChatGPT, ulabo ulabo this, there are so many AI software with photography and graphic design. Now Photoshop just released a version with generative fill. You can even use it on transcribing. Back then, the videographers, when they had to put subtitles, they had to type word by word. But now Premiere Pro can actually know what you are saying, and those are the times. So it's very easy for you to, if you do not keep up with the trends, if you're not ever learning, to be pushed aside, and before you know it, you are no longer there. You know, with photography, I've seen abanye abadala ababethatha amapicture esaziyo ukuthi akulo malumo othatha amapicture kulo malumo othatha amapicture, but now the problem is they remained stagnant. They never moved. Right now people are retouching, people are using Photoshop, and when they're still using the old things. I've met some of them. Ungazubatshela abanye bakhona balenkane ezabekayo. Ungazuxoxela mdala kulezi insuku abantu bathanda ukuthi ube lamalight. Njengamalight abantu even bengabona lama umbrella bayabuya.
Exactly.
Bayabuya ngoba you know sebebona abanye belama umbrella. But bona bedamfana thina sasebenza kudala. You know exactly.
Yeah.
So that right now there are so many photographers and they are coming in. There are so many videographers. They are coming in. Before you know it, if even me, if I don't move with the trends, I'll be history. Because I never tried. Exactly.
You cease to exist.
So we have to try by all means to be ever learning.
Exactly.
You know, put your ear on the ground, hear about izinto ezibuyayo ezingenayo, especially artificial intelligence. I don't know why people are sleeping on this.
I think you're trying to walala wasala.
Exactly.
I think it's in every aspect, even in media. I think media house newspaper.
Exactly. I saw you guys were now using some AI thing. Alice. You know, you're saving time. And you're saving money.
Exactly.
I don't know if you're paying Alice $1,000 for that.
This place is called Center for Innovation and
Exactly.
Because we are moving with time. We are moving with the time.
So I think Walela was said, what about you, Thokozani, in your field? Like we know safety equipment.
My uniforms
what's
and
keeping
like.
You at top or like on top
Would they say relevant? What I think it's diversity.
Yeah.
For instance, you don't lean on a certain product. You should be diverse. For instance, even our media houses, we supply them with our uniforms and the like. So we also do even preschools, we also do uniforms and the like. You just have to be diverse. Do anything.
Yes. Just going to do safety. If clients, though it's your main thing.
Safety is our main line. But we're diverse. We can do anything. Customized garments, for instance. If let's just say I want to be BMW, they've got a club, BMW, and they say, guys, we need my overalls, BMW. Why not? We can do them. Yeah, we can do them. Exactly. Yeah. We should be diverse as people. So that is what makes us relevant each and every time. We do anything and we ensure we do it with utmost quality. So I think that's what is making us to be relevant. Quality is everything.
Not I want to I think it was mediocre or
exactly.
I don't think I'm right. Anyway, second is the last question, guys. What do you think about introducing entrepreneurship as a subject in school? As part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
I think Lupane State University has a degree.
Yes, they do.
Entrepreneurship.
3 years.
I mean younger, like.
Yes,
or a primary.
Some point there.
Okay.
So I think, in fact, not just entrepreneurs, finance. Kids have to be. I so wish that I could have been taught finance when I was young.
Financial literacy.
Exactly. You know, if we're taught these things, if we're taught these things when we're young, I think we could, because some of us, when we started this whole entrepreneurship thing, the first few years we're following passion, but we're not financially literate.
Exactly.
Especially for me. I remember the monies that I charged, maybe they were okay during that time, but I even did things for free because, you know, I was passionate about this thing. And for years, and later I was like, financially I'm not going anywhere. I have followers on Instagram, but you know, I'm really struggling. I'm struggling, and people think things are are going for me, things are working, you know, but they do not know. It's just a facade.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling. So I later caught up, but I think it was a bit late. So only if I had been taught those things when I was younger, I think that could have worked. So if it can be introduced.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think so too.
Yes,
I think it's even if it's introduced at infancy level,
Yes,
grade 0, grade 1, it will be okay.
Yes.
Then you find that a young person will grow with that financial mind, knowing how to save, ukugcina imali and the like.
Exactly.
It will really help. Even when they are working, they will know how to channel their funds in the appropriate manner. So I think it's a very good topic, Minister of Education to address.
I concur.
Yeah.
I remember there's this guy that I met. He's really woke when it comes to money issues, and he was saying, you know, when at home, this is what we're taught. We never got a single cent when we did not earn it.
Yeah.
So what the parents did was, whenever you go maybe to the garden and start working, then you're whole.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
abakuniki imali leya beyifake esikhwameni sakho, so that maybe when you come and say, esikolo bathe bafuna lokhwana, then sit, let's go and check emalini yakho.
Exactly.
You have that money.
Yeah.
So somehow they learned that things are not just handed to you.
You should
But
work.
money, you have to work.
Exactly.
This is why people who are handed everything, they become a problem when they grow up, because they even start doing some criminal work and stuff like that, because they do not know that there is labor for you to get. Money is not just given to you.
Exactly.
You don't go with a becha and stuff like that, and by luck you get money. You have to work for money.
Exactly.
Guys, we've run out of time.
Of course.
Yeah.
We've run out of
We understand,
time. And
yeah.
I'd like to say thank you to you guys for coming through.
Of course.
I enjoyed our conversation, and if we did something, well, I'm saying I've something, and, you know, and
Of course,
try
yeah.
to make some money.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in industrial supplies, and Limzulu have to tell diverse, look for Thokozani, Tonex Industrial Supplies, and you heard your plug for Thokozani photography, videography, and MNS Media Lab. So see you guys next week, and thank you for tuning in. Bye.